All right, Captain K. So how big do black holes get?
Black holes, let's see, they start at what's known as a stellar mass, as a small black hole. Stellar mass black holes can be the mass of about 2 to 4 of our suns. And then they go all the way up to supermassive black holes. And supermassive black holes can be 40 billion times the mass of our sun. So from really big to really, really big.
So it's a variety of sizes?
They don't get real small, but they do range quite a bit from just a few times the size of our sun to many billions times the size of our sun.
Okay, so what happens when black holes collide?
When black holes collide, of course we know that gravity is caused by mass. So when two black holes collide, there's a lot of mass in each one of those black holes. They basically form one bigger black hole that's just the size of those two black holes combined.
Wow, so pretty interesting. Okay, so how fast do they spin and move around?
Ooh, good question. Black holes don't generally move around a whole lot. They pretty much stay in one spot because the things that move things around in outer space is other things, gravity. Most black holes are far enough away from anything else that would affect them from moving around. And they don't move. Instead of them moving, they pull things towards them.
Okay. What do you think happens to the matter a black hole consumes? It's hypothetical.
I was going to say, that's completely up to speculation. When I was about your age, black holes were still something that scientists weren't positive existed. They were just dark spots in the universe that scientists would look at and say, geez, it looks like there's something there that's affecting things, but we don't know for sure what it is. And they hypothesized about black holes. Now, some years later, they are certain that black holes exist. And what really happens in a black hole, nobody knows for sure. There are still people that think it's a wormhole to a completely parallel universe, which I suppose could possibly be something that happens, but I think most likely it is just taking everything that crosses that event horizon. That's the point of no return around a black hole. Once it crosses that event horizon, it gets sucked down into it, and it probably just squishes it down into a tiny little spot.
Okay. How do they form?
How do they form? It is from giant stars exploding. So when a really giant star explodes, it explodes first and then it implodes back in on itself. And all of the mass that used to be this huge giant star now gets compressed down into something very, very small. And when it's compressed that tightly, all of the mass starts drawing other things in too. So it's drawing in the planets that used to be around it. It's drawing in any other dust or asteroids or anything like that that used to be in it. And once enough mass is there, all of a sudden it's a black hole.
So it just keeps consuming and getting bigger and bigger?
That's exactly what happens, in fact. It becomes a black hole only because it has so much mass that not even light can escape, and that's why it looks black to us when we look through them.
And do they ever die, or are they permanent?
As far as we know, they are permanent. At the center of all of the spiral galaxies, like the one that we're in, they hypothesized that there was a black hole at the center of the galaxy, and that's what makes everything spin around that center spot of it, kind of like water circling the drain until it eventually gets sucked into.
Require a very massive black hole?
Exactly right, yeah.
What do you think the biggest ever?
Oh, that's a great question. The biggest one that I know about, I can't remember the name of it. I believe it's Sagittarius A. That's the one that's 40 billion or so masses the size of our sun.
Okay, and my last question would be, do you have any hypothetical just thoughts about black holes? Just interesting ideas.
I don't know that I have any of my own, but boy, I really want to believe the wormhole one. That's the most fun. If we could use a black hole to get from one place in the universe to another place in the universe, that could be how we find intelligent life somewhere else. Or even if we couldn't do that, we currently use space travel. We use the gravity from other places. Like to get places faster, they send satellites around the Earth first, and they use the Earth's gravity to swing it way out into space to get to places like Jupiter faster.
So they could use the gravity of the black hole to swing it?
Exactly. If we went close enough to a black hole that we would get started to suck in, but then we would orbit it a little bit instead and come out the other side, we could be going close to the speed of light possibly. And that would
so you're thinking black holes, instead of being a destructive force, they can be very helpful to...
Potentially in the future, once we have spacecraft that can make it that far into space, it could be something that we could utilize for travel. Yeah.
Do you believe the sun will ever turn into a black hole?
The sun isn't big enough that it'll turn into a black hole. The sun will turn into a white dwarf instead. However, eventually, that star will probably come in contact with another star that's bigger. Even once it's a white dwarf, it still has most of the mass that it used to have when it was a regular star. It's just smaller. So eventually, it could get pulled towards another star that is bigger, and then it could potentially turn into a black hole once it has enough mass. No more light can escape. Black hole.
All right, so that's all the questions I had. Thank you for answering them.
Oh, cool. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you.